Hello, Monsters Abound here, and welcome to a quick look at Inquisitor Martyr, new DLC Sororitas, which I got given a key for, so thank you very much for that. Sororitas allows you to play as a Sister of Battle, effectively. Now, if you've never heard of Inquisitor Martyr, it is a Warhammer 40,000 ARPG, so think Warhammer 40,000 meets Diablo. And it's pretty good. It's, you know, it's one of my favourite games to play on my Steam Deck because it works quite well on the Steam Deck. And I like to pick it up, play a little bit of a mission, and then put it down again. So that's kind of how I play it. And I've been playing the Tech Priest quite a bit, which is like a summoner character, sort of like a necromancer, basically, if you think Diablo. The Sister of Battle, on the other hand, has her own mechanics, which are the faith abilities. So you have these abilities here. Now, if you've never played Martyr before, the skills that you have, so these ones here on your skill bar, so that's my left mouse button, that's my right mouse button, then we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. These abilities are based on the equipment that you are currently using. So, for example, if we have a look at my armor, that has the combat dash there. If we look at my Holy Censer, that has this open slot, the Fleur de Lis. And if we look at, like, for example, my plasma gun there, you can see we've got Ignition Bolt, we've got Flame Burst, we've got Scorched Earth, and then we've got the Fleur de Lis there as well. And then on my Chainsword, we've actually got Mutilate, Blinding Strikes, and then we've got 2 Fleur de Lis. Now, what does that mean? Well, that basically determines what ability slots you have open for your Acts of Faith. So this is the Sisters of Battle specific sort of like skills that you have access to. And you can add these onto this bar. And you will... So with my Chainsword, obviously we had 2 abilities, right? And then 2 Fleur de Lis. Now that makes these two skills here open. Then we had the Censer. That is 3. And then we got the Leap of Faith. Now that is also the combat dash, and that is number 4. If my armor, which has the combat dash, had a Fleur de Lis instead, that is an open skill slot, which means I would then have another skill slot here that I could slot one of my abilities into. We can do any ability we like. So for example, I'll put Fiery Heart there if I want to. I could say I want Fiery Heart there. But I don't like those abilities. I like these ones. That one as well. There we go. And if we switch to the plasma gun, we can see we only get 2. And what it does is basically moves each skill along. So basically we can slot any skills we want there and determine based on what weapons we have available, we'll have access to different skills. If instead of a Censer, I had, say, a digital weapon, which has its own skill, which is like increases crit, then I wouldn't have any skill on 3. If I was using something like a Flamer, which has 4 skills, I wouldn't have access to any Acts of Faith. So it's just something you have to keep in mind. So we can, depending on the number of open skills we have, we can slot our Acts of Faith in there. Now, we also have this bar, which is our, is that Faith? Faith Regeneration. Yes, so this is a Faith. Now, we can generate Faith by doing different things. We've got different skills here, which we can slot in to the Sacred Rites, and that will generate Faith based on different criteria, for example. The current one I've got, which means I gain 0.01% continuous faith regeneration for each enemy killed for the duration of the mission, but it resets upon leaving embodied saint form. You might be wondering, what the fuck is that? Well, embodied fate form is basically your Super Saiyan, so you could become like a holy avenging warrior with big old angel wings and shit. And when you do that, you gain these skills over here. So basically it's like a different form. And so you've got these Saintly Deeds. These ones you can slot into anywhere you like. Currently I've got Blade of Eternal Flame. It's like a frontal cone. We've got Spheres of Radiance, which is like a shield. We've got Arc of Vengeance, which fires a projectile that passes through enemies dealing heat damage, which is quite fun. Then we've got Righteous Judgment, which is a shit ton of damage to a single target. So basically, these skills cost faith, so we basically burn through our faith in this form, and once we've used our faith, we reset back to our normal Sister of Battle form, and we start gaining faith again. So that's how the Sister of Battle works. Now, if you've never played Inquisitor Martyr, then this is like our little hub bit here. We have our Space Marine chap. All these characters are sort of like involved in the storyline. The storyline is fine. It's okay. I've played it a few times and I can't be bothered to listen to it anymore. We've got our Healy Potion lady here. So the inoculator that we have is an actual item, and determined on the item we have different slots open. So for example, there's different effects that we have we can put in there if we want to. We could take this out and this out, for example, and maybe slot different ones in. So we can maybe do salve boost, like extra duration maybe. And we could then maybe add restore 75% suppression. That might be quite useful. So we could do something like that. So it's going to give us 20% health points over 5 seconds. It's going to increase the duration, and also it's going to increase our suppression. But each time we do that, it will kind of like increase the cost of using it. And we have a certain amount of capacity on each one. And so we can see we can use it 5 times during a mission. We can find additional usages. Why have you got a brain in a jar? You know what? I'm not interested. Why have you got a hand on your back? No, I'm not interested. So, you know, you can mix and match these abilities here. You can even like, got this one to take all 3 different types of slots, and we could maybe do something like +1 damage boost or +1% damage boost for every 1% missing health points for 20 seconds on use. So we can actually turn this into like a damage dealy thing as well, which should be quite fun. So that's where you get the hilly bits. You've got co-op multiplayer if you want to do that. This guy, I don't know what the fuck that guy does. You've got a star map where you get your missions. This is like your store. And then over here you've got your crafty boy. We can do some crafting. So obviously, as any ARPG, 99.9% of all the stuff that you collect is completely fucking useless. So you can instantly turn it into crafting materials for no particular reason, and then craft even more stuff that will probably not be that useful. You do get blueprints. Blueprints drop randomly, and you can get like purple, orange, and red ones. Red ones is the highest level, highest tier, the Archaeotech, and then you've got the legendary and then epic items there. So you can get legendary and Archaeotech blueprints. I haven't got any yet, but you know you can do, and then you can craft those as well. You've got some modifying, so you can do select like, I don't know, something like that. And then you can, you know, roll stuff, reroll values, enhance, all that kind of good stuff. Forging, you can add slots to stuff if you have the Spark of Glory. We don't. And you can change your appearance as well. So, for example, if we wanted to make ourselves nice and shiny and red, we could do that like something like, I don't know, something like that. No, let's do something like, there we go. Let's do that. Yes, lovely. Loving it. There we go. Now, unlike some ARPGs, there's no sort of like open world. This is very much mission based. So to get to the missions, there's various different ways you can do that. I should probably look at the character first. Talking about character development, you have passives you can add there. You've got skill points you can add as well. That, you know, unlocks various different effects there. You've also got your entire skill trees, a whole bunch of stuff there. So, for example, you could spec into heat if you wanted to. If you wanted to work with flamers and inferno guns, that kind of thing, you could do that. You could get more, you know, health. There's a whole bunch of different stuff there. I've concentrated on melee attacks, physical attacks, and sort of like dipped in and out of other ones, single DPS and stuff like that. So I'm mostly concentrating on cutting people up with my chain sword because that is my favourite. Good times there. Oh, do I have another passive? Oh, in that case, let's go with... let's do that one. Sure. Right, let's go to Star Map. So we have like a sector view. And within sectors, we have systems. Within systems, we have planets. Each of these will have missions available. As with many ARPGs, this is... Inquisitor Marty gives you like a fucking wealth of stuff that you can potentially do. There's so much shit that you can potentially like drop into. There's so much stuff trying to get your attention. There's faction points on individual planets, which doing missions will increase. There's various different story missions you can do. There's a load of stuff. Probably the easiest way to get to a mission is just go to mission deployment. This will show you a list of all the missions that you can currently do. Obviously, red ones are tougher, yellow ones are fairly average, and then the green ones are going to be fairly easy. There's also special missions as well. So these are like story missions up there. You've got priority assignments when they pop up. active intels if they pop up, and you got special locations as well. This is one of my favorites here.
The Drukhari threat needs to be contained, but we are losing this impossible war.
Okay.
We are asking for your intervention immediately. These kidnappings must be stopped.
Right. So this mission is against Drukhari. There's different enemies you can fight in the game. This one you kind of like set on a fairly small sort of city map, and you have like a big bar which is vengeance or something. And the Drukhari will occasionally spawn these, I don't know, BDSM clubs or whatever. And you need to destroy them. The longer they're up, the more they fill the bar. The idea being that you have to destroy them as quickly as possible to limit their effect on the bar and kill as many Drukhari as possible. And then once the bar does fill, as it inevitably will do eventually, you'll get like rewards based on the number of Drukhari you've killed. That kind of thing. Quite fun. Quite enjoy it. But let's do a random mission here. So we're going to do something like, I don't know, should we fight like, should we fight the Drukhari? Let's do that. Let's do a rescue. Let's do a rescue. Now we get Uther's turret here. So this is going to be a fairly easy mission. But we can select a tarot card. These are basically going to give us certain rewards, but they're going to increase the difficulty of the mission. So we could maybe do something like this. This is going to give us a chance to find an architect reward. Let's do something like that. So that is actually going to disable an inoculator. Now that's quite bad because that means that we have no way of healing ourselves directly, which is a bit of a pain. But we're going to do something else. We've got another one as well. We're going to do something like let's do something like this. Momentum. So randomized restrictions and penalties related to time. So resources that regenerate with time regeneration minus. Ooh, that's quite nasty. So this is quite, you know, it's a fairly easy mission, but these hazards are quite nasty. If you want a particularly different, you know, if you want a mission which is going to increase your damage or increase the damage you suffered by 100%, not having an inoculator would be quite rough.
Transfer complete. Teleportarium locked down. As far as I know, all the Imperials who asked for immediate help have been found. I fed the coordinates to your tactical sensorium. Save as many of these unfortunate devils as you can. But for what greater or darker purpose, I wonder.
Now, you can switch between your weapon sets. My personal favourite is the chainsword, though, because I can just do this. I can basically just run around like people just... I'm basically just slicing and dicing anything that gets in my path. Now, this map is quite open. Most of the maps are like quite constrained. Of course, as we move around, we will meet things that are a little bit tougher, like that guy, but he dies and he's going to drop something. I think we need to move quite quickly on this one, so let's dash. There we go. So we found some lads. These are the guys we need to extract. So we'll chop down all these guys.
These ones are lucky to be alive.
Indeed.
There is more that needs your help.
Catch me if you can. We'll quickly move up here. Chop down these guys. Surprise, motherfuckers!
These ones are lucky to be alive. There is more that needs your help.
As long as I don't get in the way of my chainsword. This looks like it's going to be quite a quick mission. Out of the way, barrels!
The seeking and saving part is done.
Oh, good.
Find the evacuation points and I'll handle
Ooh, a
the
chest.
rest.
Ah, useless garbage. I'm going to kill these guys just because I can. Well, looks like this mission's going to be short and sweet. Alright, so we head over here and we'll find the exit points. There we go, that was easy.
Extraction zone reached. All survivors are accounted for. Well done. Stand by for retrieval.
That was quite an easy mission. We get some rewards there, nothing particularly useful. And then we can go over to this chappy here and we can say, all this is crap. Can you please just reduce it to its component items, please? Yeah, that's pretty shit. You can get like, you know, hand flamer and rod. Some of the weapons you get are really fun. You can get like melter guns. They're quite fun. Flamers are a lot of fun, actually. The paladin guy, who's one of the original 3 characters you could play as, can get heavy flamers. They're fucking amazing. All of the weapons are are quite fun to play with. I think some are better than others. I've just come down hard on the chainsaw just because I really enjoy the running around chainsawing people. I've mostly gone for things that make me move faster and chainsaw faster. And then just run around decapitating everyone that gets in my way, which is quite good. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. So you can do those missions as well. We can do Void Crusades. This is one I've started here. Void Crusades. You need Crusade fragments. And then you can start a Void Crusade. And a Void Crusade is basically like a mini campaign. So you have these keys and info fragments. And you need to sort of like do missions along these branches here. And each mission you do will give you rewards and also allow and sort of unlock the next node. There's some like bonus missions and stuff. They have like different requirements, so sometimes you need to complete a different mission, sometimes you need to do something, I'm not entirely sure, and some of them will increase difficulty. So currently the difficulty is 1, but there are some missions that will increase it by 2, maybe 3. That seems fine, but if you die more than 5 times, then the Void Crusade finishes. So you could potentially try and clear this entire map, get all the keys, but if you do so, the final mission, which is one of these two, Supreme Mission over there. Is there another one, or is that just the one? I think on the one I did previously there was 2, but if you complete the Supreme Mission, then that'll basically give you the reward for the entire Void Crusade. If you fail it though, you lose everything. And that's what I did. I did avoid Crusades. I made the difficulty go too high by doing too many missions. I tried to do the Supreme Mission. I got stamped. And I lost it all. I gambled. And I lost it all. And that was a bit of a shame. But it was still, you know, I still enjoyed it. Should we do some of this? Maybe let's try doing like an Architect Shards. I quite like that one. And Tarot cards and Empyrean Sea. You know what? Sure, let's do that. So we get 75 resist for melee enemies and inoculated charges for the mission. Okay, that's fine. 50% is okay. Like, having no charges is an absolute pain in the ass. 50% isn't too bad.
The enemies of the Imperium are infinite, and such a vast threat can only be fought with ingenuity. Kill the masters, and you will render a sea of vermin helpless.
I do love my chainsword. And I like my little shield there. It's always fun.
Recoil, unclean.
So obviously we're fighting against Nurgle here. Now, if I had any complaints about the game, it's that I don't think there's enough variety. I think they've got... And what I mean by that is the maps. I mean, the maps look respectably 40k, but I don't think they're that interesting. And I don't know what it is, but I just don't think they managed to quite sort of like... They just feel very generic. After a few hours of playing, you barely look at the scenery. And I think other ARPGs don't have that problem. I think it's a bit of an issue with this game. It's not... I don't think it's a deal breaker. I just wish they put some more detail into the maps, add a little bit more variety. Obviously we had that ice map, and it's like a desert map as well you can get that's a bit open. But otherwise, it tends to be like these corridors. And, you know, it's fine. But... you know, I'm just chopping my way through here. Slice and dice, motherfuckers! So, we've now got our super slice. So what we can do is we can do this. So now we've got these like wings and shit, and we're losing our faith as we fight. It should be said, we're not invulnerable in this form.
Success.
Holy shit, we just did like 19,000 damage in one hit. This form is very powerful. So we can do a lot of damage very, very quickly in this form. Let's say you're not invulnerable. You can be killed. You have to be careful. It's very easy to go out, a little bit out of control. And then, once you've run out of faith, you turn back to your normal form. Oh, hello there. So we've actually got Eviscerator now, which is like a two-handed. We got this one. We've got Greatsword. I don't really like the Greatsword. It's very slow. I didn't get on with it. I tried it, didn't like it. Like the chainsword. I like just swinging it, and everyone that runs into my chainsword is dead then. And I've made all my passives into things that make me kill harder or move faster. That's just how I roll. I didn't think maybe I'd like the Eviscerator, but I didn't. Very slow. Just not fast enough. Oh, I've also boosted stuff that channeling attacks, because the Blinding Strikes does count as like a channeling attack because you're constantly doing it. So basically I've got like multiple different effects that increase the damage of this one ability. And I fucking love it. These Chaos chaps having a nice little meeting, and then suddenly this mad woman screaming and just flailing a chainsaw around, comes screaming into the room and just runs around and cuts everyone to pieces. Where are we going? Oh, there's chests over here. Let's go over here. No, in that case... Oh, don't die! Delicious purple stuff. Oh, there's other chests. Very nice. It's just more crafting gumph, but never mind. So we float over here. So yeah, main issues with this game is that the missions get a little bit samey after a while. And I say, the maps... Maps just become a bit generic. But I feel these, you know, this is stuff that ARPGs tend to fall into anyway. The fuck are you, a demon host? Sorry, you were a demon host.
For their kind, Inquisitor.
Oh, pinata! He's just a big pinata. Anything else here? No? Good. Right, we're out. Bye. So there we go. So we completed that mission. Got some more skill point there. Whole bunch of crap. Oh, you're an implant of trauma. That sounds good. And we've unlocked the next mission. You can see here that this will increase the difficulty by 1. That's an infested station. So if we complete that mission, we'll unlock these 3. And effectively then we could go to the Supreme mission, but as you can see, end loot's bonus has now got an increase of 15%. And as we collect those keys, we can get even more bonuses, which is it's quite fun. Let's have a look. Neural implant of trauma is better than that one. And the sort of like named legendary items have like unlockable effects. So currently it's not doing anything. But if we deal suppression damage, 50,000, we'll unlock the first sort of like trait. Kill rebel type creatures, we'll unlock that one. Deal damage. So basically over time we'll unlock all of these abilities, and that'll be quite nice. So we'll do that. You can get different like items there. So we've got the Eviscerator, there's a Power Maul. I haven't tried the Power Maul yet actually. Power Harbor, I did try that, didn't quite like it, didn't get on with it. You can get flamers and stuff, melter guns, plasma guns, all that kind of good stuff. All the weapons are fairly satisfying to use. There's definitely not an item that I just went, no, this is awful to use. I liked all of them, but I just like the chainsaw the best because of the running around hitting people while at high speed. But that's just me. So Inquisitor Martyr, Sororitas, pretty good. I like the Sister of Battle. She's fun. She's got a nice little fun ability there. I do think the Tech Priest is probably my favourite one though, out of all of them. Maybe the Paladin guy because he gets the Heavy Flamer, which is a lot of fun. But hey, if you like hitting people with a chainsaw, then you can't go far wrong than with the Sister of Battle there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.